So I wake up thinking of my children, and hopefully they'll talk to me soon. I'm worried about Hillary. I'm afraid she might have some depression. Her dad committed suicide. He would never see a doctor, and he got hit by a train. And I don't get to see my grandkids. I miss them. They love me. So, yeah, something's up with her. She can't. I invited her to counseling, but she won't come and talk. So I'm reflecting on my dad's behaviors. He's really smart and warm and loving, or else he had a terrible temper. He would slam cabinets, sometimes punch holes in walls. One time he had bought a real fancy camera. He had a hard time making a living, and I'm not sure if that's his political beliefs or that he had kind of an explosive temper. And I think he had bipolar, but back in those days you couldn't couldn't say that. He had gone to military school and high school, went to Fort Union, and then he got in William and Mary and couldn't do it, and then he went into the military, went to the Marines, and one time he said if he had to live in a wheelchair, he'd kill himself. So I've met people that are happy that live in wheelchairs. They have a pretty good life. It's a very big disappointment, I'm sure, but not my dad. He said he'd kill himself, and it always worried me because he's a member of the NRA, and sometimes I worried that he'd kill himself because I think he suffered depression. But yeah, I think he has some bipolar, and so yeah, I don't think he ever got treatment for it. And I was never really scared he'd hurt me, but it was pretty unsettling as a child to see him with such a bad. One time he kicked my cat across the room, and that's not who he is. That's definitely an illness. Of course, as a child, you don't realize that. You just see these things happening. And even now, he has to be really careful because he can still lose his temper pretty quickly, I guess, from stress. But I love him. I understand it's an illness, and I'm sad that he struggled for so many years because they just didn't have mental health care when, 1950s and 60s. And I had a great aunt that killed herself on that side of the family. She shot herself, and we could never talk about it. So hopefully it's getting better and it continues to get better. And that's why I talk about it, is awareness, for people to be aware of it and understand that nowadays with the correct medicine and doctor and therapy, that you can live a full life. You don't have to hide. You can come out, and if we talk about it more, it'll be better for everybody. Because my dad's a good person, and when he acted that way, that was under what unfortunately for him, like trying to make a living, it stressed him out because he couldn't do it. He would say, "Oh, it's so hard to make a living," but he was so smart, and it just didn't make sense. And now I understand it. It was his illness causing him problems. Because when I was suffering symptoms, I couldn't either. I couldn't do it. But now that I'm on good medication, I just go into work and get a paycheck, enjoy my job, and it's not a big deal. Thank you.